There, this is a video that's going to demonstrate a technique for teaching kids or anybody how to code using Turtle Graphics, Python Idle, and Python Idle's Debug Control. This technique should work for Windows, Mac, and Linux, and I'm running on Windows. So the first step that we do is open your file manager. So here's my file manager in Windows, and now we navigate to the folder that you have the code that you want to do in. So I'm in Mason's projects, and this is the folder that I want to go into. And now we want to open a command line, and in Windows it's command prompt, and in Python and in Mac this would be your terminal application. And so now we're gonna copy this path from our file manager into our command prompt, into your terminal window. And first we want to say, however, we want to say cd, which is change directory to that. So we're changing our directory in the terminal or command prompt to where we have our code that we want to execute. And now we're there, and now we want to say idle, I-D-L-E. And so that should bring up our idle shell, which it has. And so now we're at step 6 in the blog steps, and I'll post the blog URL in the notes. So in the idle shell Windows menu bar, we want to click File Open, and we want to click on the file that we want to open, and in our case we're going to do idle star. So that's it, and we're going to say open, and there comes up the idle code window. This is holding that code for us. And then in the idle shell Windows menu bar, we go back to the idle shell, and we want to say, in the menu bar you want to say debug and select debugger, and that brings up the debug control window. Now in the debug control window we want to untick stack, and we want to tick source, and that's good. Now we're at step 9 in the blog post, and so we're going to minimize the idle shell window, which is this window. We're minimizing that. It'll be back, but that's the way it goes. And we also want to minimize the file manager, because we want the student to be able to just concentrate on those windows that she needs to. Okay, so now we're at step 10, and now we want to position the debug control window to the top left, and we want to make the idle code window smaller, and position it to the bottom left, just under the debug control window. That way we'll be able to see. You want to get rid of this breakpoint. That shouldn't be there. That's going to be as a step. I don't know why that's still there. Okay, so now we have our two windows positioned. The debug control window is at the top left of the screen, and the debug code window is at the bottom left of the screen, and we're going to leave the right hand of the screen for the turtle window to see what's happening when we execute the code. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to go up to the debug control window, select it, and click on the over button, and we're going to notice several things when we do that. we're going to notice that with each click, a new line in the code window is highlighted. So let's click the over. Come on. Oh, sorry, I skipped a step. We have to say run module. That makes this thing come up again. We have to minimize the shell and drag this up, leave a couple of lines in here. Now, and when we click over, you notice this is going, and now as we click over, the highlight steps down. So now we're going to click over, and you'll watch the setup will bring up our Turtle Graphics window. And now we're going to set the color red, and we should see the little turtle arrow appear. There he is. And now we're going to click over again, and notice several things. With each click, a new line in the code window is highlighted. Notice that when we click forward or left command, let's go down there and go down there. We're almost ready to click forward. When we click a forward or left command, the commands are executed in the Turtle Graphics window, and with the appropriate response. So we click over, and see, he went forward 200. And now we're going to make him go left, and so the little arrow is going to turn left 170 degrees. Boom! There he goes, he's left. And now, now also notice we're going to save our absolute position and positions in these, at this line. And so we're going to click over again, and notice up here that we'll have the current values of the position in A1 position and A2 absolute position. I named it with capital letters, these values with capital letters, because they come to the top of the Debug Control window if they're in capital letters. Otherwise, they're way down here. You have to scroll down to see them. Okay, so we're going to click over. And we're going to click over a few more times. You want to notice that after we execute the absolute, the if statement, the absolute, if absolute value of position is less than 1 statement, will loop back to just under the while true. So, and Turtle Graphics is keeping up with us. Forward, there he goes. Let's click on over for about 30 more times, and watch as we click and we execute the forwards and the lefts. The Turtle Graphics will be keeping up with our commands, so just watch them simultaneously, the two windows, every time. Boom, boom, boom. There he goes. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so you kind of get bored with this, right? Okay, so now the next thing I want to show you is how to set, let's see, we're at step 15. We're going to step 14 in the blog post. We're going to, in the idle code window, we're going to go over here on the break line, and we're going to right click and say set breakpoint. And so now it comes to be yellow. And now we're going to go back up into the Debug Control window, and we'll be at step 15 in the blog post. And we're going to click on the Go button. We're not going to click on the Over button. We're going to click on the Go button. And now we will watch the turtle graphics thing just do its thing. It's going to go until we reach this yellow outlined code, until we drop through this if statement to the break. Just before that, we'll stop just before we execute this break statement. So go and watch over here. There he goes, doing his thing. And notice that the absolute position now is less than 1. Absolute value of the position is less than 1. That's a very small number, even though it looks big. So, and we are just before the break. And now we're going to click over in the Debug Control window, and we're going to notice that we step out of the while loop. We're going to be just before the end fill. So there we go, boom. And now we're highlighted there. And now as if we execute this by clicking one more time, notice over here in the turtle graphics that we will end the fill, and the fill color will we set to be yellow, so it'll color up the graphics thing, the turtle graphics. And there we go. And if we click one more time, we'll be done. And that is the end of the video.